Welcome to the Church of Obelisk. Today I'm going to bring you another game of Chen being played in position 3 as the offlaner, but this time it's not Alliances 33 that's playing Chen, but Gambit.Shachlo. At least that's how I hope it's pronounced. If you know better, please tell me down in the comment section. But anyway, this game shows that it's not just this idiosyncratic pick from 33, that Chen offline is really a real thing that people are doing at this major, and in this game it's going to work out really well for Gambit. So the lineup they have here is they have this Chen in the offlane, then they have the position 4 Earth Spirit. When you're playing a position 3 Chen, you always want to have a position 4 hero that can sort of get in there. That's ideally a strength hero, some sort of initiator, like this Earth Spirit, or also something like a Tusk, like an Earthshaker, some sort of initiator. And then they have this Shadow Fiend in the middle, and they have Chekiro and Faceless Void down here as the 1 and 5. So the way J.Storm are playing this is a bit weird. They've put this Death Prophet in the safe lane and this CK in the mid lane. I guess they want to avoid this CK versus Chen lineup matchup, which is rather bad for CK. But then this CK versus Shadow Fiend matchup is not any better, so I'm not sure if this is a correct laning setup from J.Storm, but that's what they're going to go with. So what you do is Offlane Chen, you take over one of these range creeps, and then what you do with it is you last hit. And the reason you can do this so easily is because these range creeps have piercing damage. This means they have 50% bonus damage against other creeps. And this means that this creep with, was it 31 attack damage with 50% bonus has 46.5 damage against creeps. And that's about as much as a hero does level 1. It's like a slightly less than most ranged heroes do level 1. So you basically, your last hitting is if you had 2 heroes. And that's of course very powerful. And this is how you sort of out-CS the enemy and try to win your lane. So far it's going pretty even, but you can see he has 6 denies on this Chen, with just 1 deny on this Death Prophet and 1 on Grimstroke. It's going really well so far. Item-wise, what you want to do is you want to rush this Helm of the Dominator. To do that, you get a Headdress, which is ordinarily far too greedy as a starting item, but you can get away with it on Chen because you have this aura that gives some regen, so we can sort of get away with not buying any real regen items. And this just helps you get this Dominator really early on, and Dominator is one of those items that are just extremely strong if you get it early. And that's what this Chen offlane is all about. Now the runes are coming up, so Chen sends one of his range creep here to try to deny this rune, but doesn't quite get it. First Grimstroke is in position, but it was a nice attempt. So you just want to finish your Dominator. He's pretty close now, and once you have a Dominator you can really start playing aggressively, because then you can actually take over these strong creeps like the Centaur here, which ordinarily you need level 3 Persuasion to do that. And as you can see, he's just doing really well in the CS. He has 12 denies against the 1 deny on this Death Prophet. So it's 5:40 and the Dominator just arrived. This is a pretty good timing. You can get it even early if you have a really good game, but in this game it's plenty early. And they're almost getting a kill here on this Death Prophet. Shachlo has opted for this second point in Divine Favor. I'm not really sure about that. If he had gotten this penitence, he would have actually gotten this kill here. But I guess he evaluates his region and this recall ability more highly. But when 33 places, he usually gets a point in penitence level 4. Anyway, they now have this catapult wave, and they can take over this the Centaur, take over the Centaur with a Dominator, because the Centaur really benefits from movement speed. You get forward 25 movement speed on this Dominator creep. And now they're going to go and collapse on this Death Prophet. And he doesn't quite get a Stomp here. It's quite hard to stomp people when they're running away from you, even with this fast Centaur. So you have to try to run past people and then stomp. But they're really putting pressure on this tower. You can get another creep here, because he only has 2 regular creeps so far. but he doesn't want any more range creeps. 2 range creeps is enough. The range creeps really only good at clearing camps and pushing out waves. We want something more substantial as your next creeps. And they're gonna get this tower. Pretty easy tower here. And that is Chen on a good way to the mid game. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the tower. That's kind of unfortunate, but at least you get the tower very early. And now you just want to push in this wave and build up a decent creep army. And you can see Shachlo has absolutely no fear. He knows he's currently the strongest hero on the map. So he can just do this. He's going to farm these creeps. He's not very valuable creeps here, so might as well just kill them. And hope to get some better creeps here. It's not really what you want. I mean, he could take this foreman if he wanted to. The movement speed aura is quite nice, but he's not going to. And Death Prophet is pretty far out here. Maybe you can just recall someone and go for a kill attempt, but he's not going to try. He's just going to farm more and more and try to get his Vlad as a second item. That's typically the second item you want. You have this Dominator and Vlad that just really gives you a lot of farm speed as well as sustain, and that just allows you to scale into the mid game. Now this is a really good creep here. You want to have this. This is the sort of creep that is very strong in this phase of the game. It's gonna fall off a little bit because the shockwave is very strong in the early game, but later on not quite as good. And that's one of the reasons why Chen position 3 is quite strong right now. That you can just get these kinds of creeps a lot earlier. Because if you're just a position 5 Chen, by the time you can actually get these side tormentors, they're not really very strong anymore. So that's one of the boons of position 3 Chen. He's just building up his army. This Hellbat Smasher really strong. Has this nice nuke as well as this attack speed aura. And this is a pretty strong team. You still want to replace this this range creep, but other than that, this is a very strong army. And they're pushing this tier 1 tower. And J.Storm think they can defend here, but really they can't. Chaos Knight gets easily killed, and the Centaur doesn't stand a chance either. Kronos comes out here, and this is a really easy fight for Gambit. And just J.Storm, they can't do anything. And the heroes that they have are not really bad in the early game. Like Death Prophet is good hero in the early game. CK comes online really early. Centaur is pretty strong too. But they just can't fight because this Chen is just too strong. And as well as also, of course, the Shadow Fiend has had a really good lane against this CK, and he's top of the net worth. They have all 3 cores, top of the net worth, 6k leader, 10 minutes. This is a very easy game for Gambit. And a lot of it comes down to this Chen. Because of this Chen, J.Storm saw themselves pressured into adopting this sort of weird laning phase where they put this Death Prophet in the safe lane and the CK in the mid. This allowed Shadow Fiend to have an easier game, and they're just snowballing at this point. And what Shadow Fiend is going to do is he's going to go for a mech. Now why does he go for mech? Isn't mech the item you want to get on Chen? Well, kind of. Chen is a great mech is a great item on Chen, but just because you have this Divine Favor aura doesn't mean that you personally have to get the mech, because you still benefit from this aura as long as you're just in range of the mech. And because they want to do a lot of 5-manning anyway, it doesn't really matter who buys the mech. It's just Shadow Fiend buys it because it just fits quite well into Shadow Fiend if you want to go for this early fighting build that the Shadow Fiend has gone into. With magic amp damage and so on, no physical damage here. And you just if you want to buy all these items in Chen, they just come out a lot later, and they just want to hit this really early timing. And now it's 12 minutes in the game, and they're just pushing high ground. There are 3 heroes here, but they have no fear. You can't fight into the Centaur army. You know, what do? You have 1 Centaur, they have 3 Centaurs. And 3 is better than 1, right? So it's really hard to actually defend here from J.Storm. But they're gonna try. I mean, you don't just want to give up towers at 12 minutes in. There's a nice Chrono coming out here, even when it hits the Chaos Knight on the edge, so he can easily be killed by the Chen army. And there's an easy tier 3 tower. And do we have buyback on this CK? Actually we do. He's just so poor that he has buyback, even though he only has 400 gold, even less than that. But yeah, there's an easy Rax and a really cocky TP from Faceless Void, but it doesn't get counted. Doesn't get punished for that. And yeah, from here it's pretty much smooth sailing from Gambit. And you just want to keep up the pressure. You want to take out this shrine and maybe take a Roche and then just take another lane of Rax. And that's pretty much the game plan here. And what's really strong about this lineup is that you just have infinite sustain. You have this mech, soon to be a Guiding Greaves, and you have this Helm of Dominator aura, you have this aura with lifesteal. You can just fight always. You just have so much HP sustain, you also have a lot of mana sustain, and you have these Guiding Greaves on Shadow Fiend. No mana we'll see, but then we need it on Shakiro. And of course this mana region from this Lance aura. It does seem that Chen can just fight non-stop and just take one tower after another. Chen rebuilding his army. Now he also has this little Hellbear creep here, gives him this nice cloak aura. And these creeps are great once you get to like the 20-minute mark. But in here it's still fine. You don't want 2 of these Hellbear smashes because his auras don't stack, whereas his cloak aura does stack. And now they're pushing high ground again. Normally you want to be very careful with committing a creep as a Chen, but it's so early in the game that they can actually do this. And just be very, very cocky here. Like, look at this Chaos Knight. He has a Bracer and Treads. No armlet, nothing. And they're trying to fight in here, but it's just impossible. Just everything dies, and everything on Gambit stays alive. And that is GG, and a Slasher's Way Chrono. Hope he yelled out Slasher's Way, but unfortunately no healing salves here in this inventory. But yeah, this was a quick and brutal stomp. So if we look at the post-game stats, we see that Chen is just constantly staying up here in net worth, one of the highest here. Center is also winning his lane in the start, but top and mid are easily being won by Gambit. And then the Void can catch up. By the time you get to 10 minutes, you have all 3 cores from Gambit on top, and with this lineup they can just roll over the enemy and end the game really, really early. So in this game, Offlane Chen looked absolutely broken. How do you actually counter that hero? How do you counter position 3 Chen? That's what I'm going to look at in the next video that's coming up on this channel. It's actually in the next game in this series. We have Gambit once again drafting a very similar lineup, also with position 3 Chen, also with a Shadow Fiend and going Greaves. And in that game, J.Storm actually win. So we don't want to miss that game. Join the fold and subscribe to this channel. As well, hit the little bell button so that you get notified when I post this next video. And in the meantime, here are some other videos you can look at from my channel if you want to become a better Chen player and a better Dota 2 player in general. And I'll see you guys there. And may Obelisk protect you.